Hello everyone, how are you? I hope that you all are fine. Have you ever heard that there is a confrontation or there is war of words between the President of the United States of America and the Supreme Catholic Church leader or Supreme Catholic Church Pope? I think that in the history of American politics, you have never heard such kind of heat and hot talk between the two leaders in the world. Donald Trump, in the one hand, is the supreme, or the topmost leader, or he is the most powerful leader in the world. On the other hand, Pope Leo XIV is the supreme Catholic leader in the world. So, and he belongs to Chicago in the United States of America. So, Donald Trump thinks that he being the American citizen will be subordinate to the president. On the other hand, Pope thinks that the question of morality, I will not say anything else, but I would say that the question of morality, the confrontation began after within less than a year of Pope Leo's coming into Vatican City. If you see that it started mainly when some political leaders went to visit Pope and the Catholic Church clerics to discuss about the America-Israel war with Iran. So they said they actually wanted to get blessings from Pope. They wanted to have the blessings of Pope. They thought that these war will be called as a religious war between Christianity and Islam. But Pope did not agree that, and this was the bone of contention. This was the source of tension. Okay, if you see that in recent history, not in the history of entire United States of America, you will never find that there is such a hot tension between the president and Pope. Okay, so there is some confrontation sometimes happened because never the popes ever have supported the wars against any country in the world, because they are completely believing the faith or the spirituality and morality. The question of morality is very much important to them. On the other hand, the question of national security, the question of foreign policy, the question of dominance become prime importance to the presidents of the United States of America. Very recently, Donald Trump has written a 330-word social media post in his Truth Social Media, and many observers expected a quiet pontificate than his predecessor. Francis, a scholar administrator from Chicago, stepped in liturgical tradition, wearing the red mojetta and moving into the apostolic palace. Early signals suggested a pontificate of restoration rather than revolution. Everybody, Donald Trump, also including Donald Trump, thought that the Catholic Church or the world's topmost church in Vatican City have become very weaker, particularly from the time of Francis. Yes, but it's true that weekly mass attendance among American Catholics had fallen from around 55% in 1970 to roughly 29%, and the ranks of the clergy had thinned in lockstep from 59,000 priests a half-century ago to around 33,000, alongside an aging corps of 33,000 nuns. Roughly 30 million Americans have left Catholicism outright. For every adult convert the church welcomed each year, about 8 walked out of the door. So this is a shabby picture of Catholicism in the United States of America. Okay, Moreover, if you see that the churches have been alleged, or many churches, or against some popes or some priests, there were allegations of sexual abuse or sexual assault. As a result of that, Catholic dioceses and religious orders have paid more than $5 billion to settle clergy assault abuse claims, according to Georgetown University's Center for Applied Research in the Apostolate. Parish schools have also closed by the hundreds, with the Diocese of Brooklyn announces earlier this year that it would shutter 7 more churches. Okay, so this is the winning picture of global churches or global Catholicism, I would say. And above it all, Francis had left behind a fractured church. Remember, fractured church, celebrated by liberals who rarely filled a pew, while clashing with a conservative wing that still longed for the moral clarity of Pope John Paul II's Cold War church. When Leo emerged on the balcony of St. Peter's, many expected a careful course correction, a quiet pope, a steady pope, a pope who would tend to be rakish without making waves. But the picture had been entirely shifted. Okay, then on Sunday morning in mid-April, Donald Trump picked a fight with him. The fight initiated by not Pope Leo XIV. Rather, it was initiated by Donald Trump himself, and found that the quiet Pope was not so quiet after all. Leo was clearer than Francis and had ever been, and growing more assured by the week. As a result, there might be, if being a head of Vatican, if you raise voice against me and if you talk against me, I will not leave you. Okay, if Donald Trump thought that, how can a American-born Pope go against me? You see, as a result of that, Donald Trump wrote a 330-word post on his Truth Social. He frequently writes this type of messages, this type of pictures, and recently AI generated pictures he has started to post in his social media, all right, Truth Social. So Trump called Pope Leo XIV, quote, weak on crime and terrible on foreign policy, unquote, adding, quote, I don't want a pope who criticizes the president of the United States, unquote. So the post continued, quote, if I wasn't in the White House, remember, if I was not in the White House, Leo would not be in the Vatican, unquote. So you just imagine, it means Donald Trump, helped Leo XIV to sit in Vatican. Okay. Next, he did not only stop here. He further said, in less than an hour later, posted on AI-generated image of himself. How did he portray himself? He portrayed himself in biblical robes as a Christ-like figure. As a Christ-like figure, healing a sick man, as Jesus Christ used to do. He himself portrayed an image, made an image, AI-generated image, that he himself, his image was like with biblical robes as a Christ-like figure. He was healing a sick man. He deleted in the following morning, claiming he thought it depicted him as a doctor. He thought that it depicted him as a doctor of morality, doctor of religion, doctor of war, doctor of everything. he knows only, he is the doctor of social problems, he is the doctor of economic problems, he is the doctor of political problems, he is the doctor even moral problems, you see. So by then the image had spread across social media platforms like wildfire, and the American bishops had begun their response. Not only response, they definitely, when you criticize the head of an organization, definitely the subordinates or his colleagues must must. Okay, that is why what happened, the response from the American church was swift. Within hours of Trump's post attacking the Pope, Bishop Robert Barron issued a statement calling Trump's remarks entirely inappropriate and disrespectful. Definitely, all the general people, all the common people, all the conscious people of the world will say it entirely inappropriate and disrespectful, and said the president owed the Pope an apology. Archbishop Paul Coakley, president of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, released his own statement saying, quote, "I am disheartened by the disparaging words about the Holy Father," unquote. So definitely the heads of the priests will start complaining, or the priests in the world, from the world itself, will start criticizing the words and the AI depicted pictures of Donald Trump, portraying himself as a Christ with robes and healing a sick man. So as Trump's attacks escalated, so did the range of voices coming to Leo's defense, including figures who would not typically align with the Vatican on matters of faith or geopolitics. Even Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian condemned the AI-generated image as a, quote, "desecration of Jesus," unquote, declaring that such an insult is not acceptable to any free person on this earth. Okay, so in Europe, not only from Iran, not only from USA, even Donald Trump's close ally, Miss Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister of Italy, she has also condemned the statement and the action. She said in her remarks about the Pope, unacceptable, triggering a public rupture. Opposition, not only the Prime Minister George Meloni, even the opposition leader Ellis Klein echoed the criticism, denouncing Trump's serious lack of respect in a rare moment of cross-partisan unity in Rome. Even Bishop Joseph Strickland, the former bishop of Tyler, Texas, who was removed by Pope Francis in 2023 after years of tension with the Vatican over doctrinal and political disputes, framed the issue in instrumental terms rather than politician ones when speaking to a Newsweek on the papal plane to Algeria. Pope Leo XIV responded with a stillness that seemed to unsettle Trump further. He said, "I have no, quote, I have no fear of neither the Trump administration nor of speaking out loudly about the message of the gospel," unquote. Christopher Hale, editor of the Letters from Leo newsletter, had noticed the shift even before the confrontation with Trump. Quote, "The idea of the quiet Pope Leo is a 2025 story. The 2026 Pope Leo is altogether different. He is speaking out more comfortable in his own skin. He is more comfortable saying the word Trump. He said it twice in the past week," unquote. No sitting American president has publicly attacked a pope in such explicit personal terms. No American leader in the Republic's history has so directly portrayed papal authority as subordinate to presidential power. Trump's assault on Pope Leo was something genuinely new in American politics. A Republican president openly confronting the moral authority of the Catholic Church itself. You see, the feud did not start only in mid-April. It started 3 months earlier, when the Vatican believed the Trump administration was asking something it had never asked before: for the Catholic Church to blaze the war. If we quote, we can say, quote, it was the belief of the Vatican that this meeting was an intent to permanently communicate that the Vatican to get rid on board with it. See, unquote, the report alleged that one Pentagon official had even referenced the Avignon papacy, a 14th century period when the French crown imposed its will on the Catholic Church, as a Catholic tale of what could happen if the Vatican did not cooperate. The Trump administration categorically rejected this characterization. A Pentagon spokesperson told Newsweek, quote, the meeting between Pentagon and Vatican officials was a respectful and reasonable discussion. We have nothing but the highest regard and welcome continued dialogue with the Holy See, unquote. But something has shifted. The confrontation came into public view in early April, when 3 US cardinals aired a joint segment on CBS's 60 Minutes, declaring the Iran war, quote, not a just war, unquote. How can a pope, how can a priest say that the war against humanity, war against a country can be blessed? A war, the loss of humanity, loss of students, loss of sick people, loss of child, loss of old can never be blessed. Okay, so you see, as a result, what happened? Cardinal Robert McElroy explained that the conflict failed to meet the church's ancient prerequisites for military action, a focused aim to restore justice and peace. After a segment aired, Trump posted his Truth Social attack. Later the date, what happened when a reporter confronted Vice President J.D. Vance about the Cardinal's comments? He was in Budapest campaigning for Prime Minister Viktor Orban, and intervention that would fail this later when Orban was voted out after 16 years in power. Donald Trump said J.D. Vance to campaign in favor of Viktor Orban because both are almost autocratic leaders. Okay, and maybe they are in the form of presidential form, but their nature and their way of governance and a way of applying executive power and foreign policy and even public policies are almost similar. Okay, we can say that Donald Trump Trump was impressed by the activities of Viktor Orban as a result, and they had friendship as a result. He sent J.D. Vance to campaign in favor of him, but he was defeated after 16 years of continuing power in Budapest. Okay, so Vance stepped in as the administration's de facto spokesperson and delivered what would become its core complaint. This is very serious complaint. You see what J.D. Vance said, quote, I am quoting, quote, I certainly think that in some cases it would be best for the Vatican to stick to matters of morality, to stick to matters of what goes on in the Catholic Church, and let the President of the United States stick to dictating American public policy, unquote. Okay, Sam Sawyer is the editor-in-chief of America magazine. The Jesuit publication heard the comment and saw it as revealing a fundamental misunderstanding. Vice President Vance said the Pope should stick to matters of morality, but the Pope is sticking to matters of morality, Sawyer told Newsweek. Again, quote, the justice of war and the question of whether the use of military force is justified and moral, that's precisely a matter of morality. That's why he is speaking out about it. Whether you are going to, if you go to fight against a country, if you go to kill the people of that country, if you go to destroy the wealth and infrastructure of that country, then how can being a pope support that? Definitely no pope in the world will support. Similarly, I would salute to Pope Leo XIV for raising his voice, and the other popes, the other priests who have registered Donald Trump's activities in Iran, Donald Trump's his about his migration policies and about his deportation policies and his Iran wars, and definitely other wars he has initiated and have made the people of life endangered. This is, and he is creating problem in the world because the prices of gold, jewelry, essential commodities have been risen a lot, and the poor people, middle class people are suffering a lot. Even the businessmen, even the common people, even the farmers, the traders, the low income people, all are suffering. Even the countries as a whole are suffering due to oil, due to closure of or imposition of some sanctions on the Strait of Hormuz. So I would say that like Pope Leo XIV, other priests or other saints in the world should raise their voices against any misconduct or against any illegal or immoral activities of their leaders. And definitely the Supreme Courts are there, everywhere the courts are there. Despite that, the moral people or the religious people or the spiritual people should also raise their voice to suppress or to stop those wrongdoings by the presidents or prime ministers or the top executives of different countries in the world. With this, I would like to thank all the viewers, and I would like to request all of you to subscribe my channel and share this video with your friends, with your colleagues, and with your students. I would like to close this video here, and finally I would like to thank you for lending your ears for such a long time. Thank you very much.